And God, denyo. Oh, what that dang. This is the voice of the patriot, where we speak truth to power. Now here we don't criticize, but if we must, it would only be on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we keep saying we are in the service of God and country. And here, remember, and stick up in, we are not neutral, never. And we have never claimed to be. We are never neutral because we have taken sides, the side of the truth. That is why we keep saying we are the headquarters of the truth. Now today, in our daily editorial, aka the voice of the patriot, we have a number of issues to look at. And I'm taking my first reading from My Joy Online. And it says, Cedi crosses 11 cedis to US dollar amid supply pressures. And I read, checks by Joy Business show that while some banks are selling the dollar as high as 11.30, others are quoting 11 Ghana cedis. However, the Bank of Ghana's official rate as of yesterday pegged the dollar at 10.90, while forex bureaus are settling around 12.20. Now, despite the recent pressures, a data bank research report indicates that the Cedi remains Africa's best performing currency against the dollar, appreciating about 36% year to date. Though this is down from over 40% earlier in August. To be very honest with you, my brother, I don't know what crop of human beings Ghanaians are. Sometimes I am tempted to think that the chimpanzees that some philosophers said, some scientists said, we originated from, is true. Some of us Ghanaians actually are descendants of orangutans. Some of us Ghanaians are descendants of chimpanzees. In fact, descendants of goats and sheep. And when I use terms like this, it means that I am hurt. My brother, my sister, as a patriot, I get hurt when I see wrong done to my country. Now, first and foremost, we had a government that was in power for 8 solid years. A government that was more than just arrogant. In fact, arrogant is an underestimation. The Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government was abysmally cold. They ravaged the economy to the point that the Ghana cedi became a joke of a currency. They were now reading their budgets in the American dollar. Oh, we built this road, this number of kilometers for this number of American dollars, thousands of American dollars, tens of thousands of American dollars, millions of American dollars. At a point, if you close your eyes, you might think that it was an American budget. They are totally dollarized the economy. Everything was at the beck and call of the dollar. The economy cringed. In fact, it started to quake. And we thought it would recover. It fell apart. And we thought at least it will join again. But it sank into the deepest abyss like the Titanic. My brother, my people, listen to this attentively. The Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo Mahamudu Bawumia regime is the worst regime Ghana has ever seen. Apart from the arrogance, we saw a plethora of lies carted from one point to the other with no taxes paid, customs. Hallelujah. Hear this now. The city was at the mercy of the dollar. Anytime the dollar sneezed, the city caught incurable cold. Now, we were all waiting for a messiah of the economy. Mahama came along the line. We would never have given Mahama any chance, but for the fact that the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was a huge disappointment. In fact, a pile of rubbles of disappointment. Hallelujah. You know what happened? Mahama came in, and within the next few months, his government was able to stabilize the city, not just stabilize it, make it inch against the dollar. Powerfully, rhythmically. The Ghana cedi was all of a sudden the David against the Goliath dollar. With a sling and a stone, the dollar crashed to the ground. And instead of having Ghanaians jubilate in awe, instead of having Ghanaians heave a sigh of relief, no, it was time to behave and to authenticate the fact that we are descendants of chimpanzees, orangutans, pigs, dogs, goats, and sheep. You know what we did? Beginning with Ghanaians Abroad, they stopped sending their dollar. They were waiting for the cedi to comatose again so that they would help the Americans kill our economy again. What dirty descendants of chimpanzees and dogs. It's sad. Ha! Ghanaians Abroad were so angry and mad that the Ghana cedi dared cough at the dollar, the almighty Trump dollar. After all, they had left Ghana for dead so that they could move to America for life. That's what they did. In fact, companies that are involved in, I don't know how that thing is called, the services of bringing in money, you send money from abroad into Ghana, they all started folding up. In fact, one director of such companies told me, Black Rasta, I am embarrassed to be a Ghanaian at this point. I thought this would have been the cocoa season to even make the Ghana cedi stand taller. Now leave Ghanaians abroad and come to Ghanaians in Ghana. If Ghanaians abroad, a lot of them are descendants of goats, chimpanzees, and orangutans, then Ghanaians here, a lot of us are descendants of pigs. You know what we did? We refused to reduce prices, even though the dollar had come higher against the dollar. They had come lower against the cedi. Even though the dollar had taken a salute of respect for the cedi, Ghanaians refused to reduce prices. GPRTU, drivers and drivers associations did not see the reason prices should come down. Market women who, anytime the cedi fell against the dollar, even by 0.000 to the umpteenth 0.1, they would increase prices in the next megasecond because they are controlled by the dollar. But when the cedi falls, nobody coughs, nobody bats an eyelid. I am sad. My brother, that was what it was. 3 days ago, I was at the bank. I went looking for $1 because I said that I was going to be traveling anytime soon and I needed some dollar on my travel. They told me point blank, Black Rasta, we don't have any dollars. Oh, but go. Don't worry. We will call you in the next few hours if we have any. My brother, it's been 2 days now. This is the third day I have not had a call. Are the banks also sabotaging the Ghana cedi? We have known, and it's common knowledge, that a lot of these banks, they hoard the dollar, they hoard the euro, and they sell this out to Abochi on the street to sell at the black market and bring them their cards. Such dirty people who are not patriots. Descendants of orangutans and chimpanzees. It is sad. Somebody will say, someone say, Black Rasta is using harsh words. Then you are not a Ghanaian. You are not a true Ghanaian. You are also a descendant of a chimpanzee. Jesus. Today, we are being told that on the black market, the Ghana cedi sells at 12 cedis, 20 pesos. And in some of the banks, it's 11 cedis, 20 pesos and above. But the Bank of Ghana still holds it at 11 Ghana cedis. What are we doing to our country? The president is running left, right, and center. Singapore, Japan, running all over, boasting that the Ghana cedi is the best currency. In fact, the best performing currency in the world. He's trying to lure people into this country to do business with us so that our economy will breathe some fresh air. But our attitude, Nkrumah told us a long time ago, we have the attitude of pigs. No matter how clean we are washed, we are so much in a hurry to jump into the next muddy gutter. We have a penchant for death. We are never clean. We have the disease of the pig. We don't want ever to be clean. The day we are washed clean, we are just impatiently waiting to jump into the next bucket or pool of mud. I cry for President Mahama, and I cry for this precious country called Ghana. Bawumia, Wale Adam Smith failed to do it. Today, my brother, my sister, the Ghana cedi is beginning to fall again. And Ghanaians will start sending money from America to their relatives to buy cement and build houses for them here. They are not ready to stabilize the Ghanaian economy so that they wouldn't need to travel. They would have to stay here and earn their money. I have tears in my eyes, my brother. And if you can see, I am crying for my nation. When would we ever appreciate patriotism? Many more stories are coming up, and I need you to patiently follow. My brother, my sister. Oh my God. This is Ghana for you. Yes, it is called Ghana, this country. Yes, we are called Ghana. Oh, Jesus. My brother, my sister. Next thing I want to look at is also deep. And I need you to come along whilst we look at some of these interesting stories. Hey. Now the next story is deep. It's very deep. It's very deep. And we need everybody to open their ears and listen with the raptest attention. Oh God. My brother, my sister, I'm reading this also from my Joy Online. And you can't miss this. Hey, Jesus have mercy. Now there's a lot of politicking in our country. Left, right, and center, people are tearing down each other. They are no more interested in this country called Ghana. It is all about themselves. My brother, my sister, this one says Ghana's airspace is safe despite recent helicopter incidents. And I read, the acting commissioner of the Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigation and Prevention Bureau, AIB, John M.K. Wuboti, has assured the public that Ghana's airspace remains safe despite concerns over the recent Z9 helicopter crash and emergency landings by other aircrafts. Now, speaking at a press briefing in Accra, Mr. Wuboti stressed that aviation in Ghana is heavily regulated and monitored with strict safety protocols guiding every flight. Before an aircraft moves, it is not child's play. What goes into preparing an aircraft for takeoff ensures that passengers have 99.999% certainty of reaching their destination safely, he said. He noted that Ghana recently scored 89.89 in a safety audit, an indication of the robustness of the country's aviation safety system. My brother, my sister, it was unfortunate. An incident that broke the hearts of so many Ghanaians. The military-style Z9 helicopter crashed and 8 people, great minds, went down, including one of the best Air Force pilots in this country. My brother, my sister, we are still grieving. Those who have departed would certainly want us to just move on and make Ghana prosper. But deep in our hearts, we are still mourning. That is Ghana for you. When there's bad news, it takes so very long to recover from that. But when it's good news, we recover from it in a mega second and getting ready for another good news. May I just break this thing down? You see, in Ghana, when something is achieved and it demands a certain level of celebration and appreciation, we hardly do that. But when there is bad news, we celebrate that till the end of time. I'll give you an example. When people are alive and they work so hard, nobody recognizes them. It's when you are dead that they give you a bit of attention. And that attention that they give you, they get to realize that, wow, so this person had all these qualities. So this person knew all these things. And we never gave him a dog's chance. They start only to celebrate you in death when you probably don't need it anymore. The cedi appreciated against the dollar and other major foreign currencies. Did we celebrate it? We chose to celebrate it with tears. We increase prices no matter how much we try to beg people to be patriotic. No, even Ghanaians abroad, they made sure that the cedi will not see the light of the day. How dare you cedi, go back to the doldrums. One helicopter crash, 8 8 people went down the drain. We heard about another helicopter crash land. In other words, have an emergency land. And I think another. Because of that, the truth is that a lot of Ghanaians have refused to fly internally. Listen to this. Hi! Last week, a friend of mine flew from Accra to Takoradi via Passion Air. He told me there were only 9 people on the plane. Passion Air almost canceled the flight. But probably they just looked at it and said, you know what? Let us weather the storm. Let us be very professional and dedicated to our clients. Even if there are only 2, let's fly. The truth is that domestic flights are losing a lot of money right now because of the Z9 helicopter that crashed. That is the bare truth. And that is why this man here, Mr. Wuboti, is here talking. Ghanaians are refusing to fly because they fear to die, the wicked people that we are. We are not ready to celebrate our country. We are ready to damn our countries. Help Chinese come and destroy our land, flora and fauna. Help foreigners come into this country and insult us. They even love their lives. Wicked Ghanaians like that, they love their lives. They don't want to die. So they don't want to fly. A plane flying from Tamale to Accra is empty. Flying from Accra to Tamale, empty. Accra to Takoradi, empty. In fact, domestic flights are losing money. From Accra to Wa, only lizards and cockroaches are on the plane. The plane flies empty and flies back with 2 passengers. All because a Z9 helicopter crashed and some great people died. Look how we mourned. Yet, when we have good news, it is not collaborated like that. My brother, my sister, I would like to encourage you that it was an accident and the airwaves, the airspace is still safe. Accidents do happen, and it is time for us to look at the planes that we fly around Ghana. I think some of them are old. I don't want to mention names, but a lot are old. There's a plane, when it's landing, it's like a military plane. It's like they are firing bombs at the plane. Why? So it's time for aviation to push all those old planes back. If another air disaster happens, it will take years for Ghanaians to fly domestic again. Let us prevent it. Push all the old planes aside. There was a time we were told that some airline, whose name I will not mention, is not in business anymore in Ghana. In fact, it had bed bugs and cockroaches. And when the plane was taking off, hey, you couldn't even look at the propellers and the wings. It was like they were going to break. To God be the glory. Now, the final story I would like to look at is another interesting piece, and it's coming from My Joy Online. It says, Africa needs fair. Oh my God. Africa needs fair finance, not charity. Mahama challenges global system. President John Dramani Mahama has challenged the global financial system to treat Africa fairly, warning that the continent cannot close its vast financing gaps through charity, but only through access to capital at the right price. Now, speaking at the opening of the 8th Africa-Singapore Business Forum in Singapore on Tuesday, he said Africa needs justice, not benevolence, in the way international finance is structured. In his own words, he said, as the African Union champion on financial institutions, I must be candid. The current global financial architecture remains inequitable for low and middle income countries, he declared. Africa faces an annual financing gap estimated at 1.3 trillion American dollars. Infrastructure needs alone run between 181 and 221 billion American dollars per year through to 2030, and the climate finance gap is about 213 billion annually. Well, what President Mahama is saying is nothing but the truth. It's like Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo saying Ghana beyond aid. He says that what Africa needs is not benevolence. That's what he said. Africa does not need benevolence. What Africa needs is justice. Hallelujah. Hey, I see this making the headlines around the world. My brother, when it comes to Africa, they treat us like a stepchild. They treat us like a red herring. It's sad. They buy our gold as if they were doing us a favor. Anything they buy from us, they twist our hands in one way or the other. And if you try to flex your muscles, they would unleash the power of the West on you, creating coup d'etats and removing you by force, by fire, by thunder. My brother, my sister, all these things point to one thing. Africa needs to come together. Once we come together in unity, nobody can threaten us and make it happen because we are united. It's been the voice of the patriot.